Our games, and I am here today for another live play of Fan Realms, fan created realms from Snowmire or for Rolling Realms, and I am really excited today. I was just reading these over to kind of refresh myself on them before we begin. Today we're playing with Istanbul by Ben Rea, Point Salad by Chad Martinell, and The Game by Ben Baker. And I was just puzzling over Point Salad. Hopefully, I can understand it here live, but we'll go over that one in a second. Let's talk about Istanbul first. And I actually forgot to put it in the description here, but there is a link where you can go download this and print it. And I will include that. Let me go get that now so you have it. I'll move the camera so you can see my face a little bit before I start playing. Here we go. Yeah, let me go grab that real quick so you can have the link handy. Okay, here we go. So yeah, you can print this out. Yesterday I played with 3 other fan realms, fan created realms. Here we go. Okay, I'll post the link right there for you to have. Okay, Nathan's back again for round 2. He says these realms look fun. Yeah, they do look like a lot of fun. Let's talk about Istanbul first. So in Istanbul, you'll pick a number, and then you will, here, I'll just read it out loud. Istanbul says, mark a location using a number from the row or column, then gain the benefit. And so if I have a 6, I can choose any benefit here. I cross it off, I gain that benefit. And one of these kind of looks like a heart, but it isn't. That is a ruby. Then subsequent marks must be made to locations orthogonally adjacent to a previously marked location. At the end of the round, I'll score 1 star for each completed row, and there are a few stars I can earn in the grid, and also I get a bonus star if I've collected all 3 rubies. Which, as I say that's interesting. So I guess that's a reason, like late in the game, if you know you can't even complete all 3 rows, that you can still have certain spaces that you go after the rubies to get that extra star. That's interesting. Okay, so that is Istanbul. Let's come back to Point Salad in a second, because that's one I was puzzling over a little bit. We'll figure it out. The game. In the game, you have these 2 rows of cards where you are trying to write down higher numbers than the previous number or lower numbers than the previous number. And similar to the actual version of the game, when you write down, if you have a number that is so in this row where you generally want to go up, if I have a number that is exactly 10 lower than the previous number, then I can write down that number instead, higher in this column or in this row. The little twist here of how you get these numbers is that you'll actually use both dice. So if, say, the example here is if a 6 and a 1 are rolled, I can use a 16 or a 61. And if you create a die, then you can choose. So if I create a 5, I can make that a 5 and a 6, or a 6 and a 5, or a 5 and a 1, and a 1 and a 5. Nathan points out that it feels a little bit like Architects of the West Kingdom. It does, although with that little twist where you're actually creating a pretty big 2-digit number there. Point Salad. Okay, here's the one I was puzzling over. Here's what it looks like for context if you're following along. Let me read it out loud to you. It says, use 1 die to fill in a point card. So that's pretty intuitive. So we have this row of point cards. I understood that. Row of point cards, some of which have to be equal, some of which can't be equal. There's 1 freebie. Or use both dice to collect veggies. It says the second die is still available to use in another realm. Collect a bonus for filling in point cards and completing rows of veggies. Okay, so the veggie part. Hey, Alex, thanks for joining us. The veggie part is the one I was puzzling over a little bit because the veggies each have an individual number associated with them, but it says use both dice. So I guess if you say I want to use veggies this turn, then you actually get to use both of the veggies and cross off any veggie down here. That's how I'm going to play it. So if say a 1 and a 2 are rolled, I could cross off both of those veggies down here anywhere I want. So I could cross off that one and this one if I'd like. And I still have one of those numbers to use in another realm. That makes sense to me. All right, let's jump in and give these a try. I'm going to point my camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm working on. There we go. All right. Turn 1. A 3 and a 1. 3 and a 1. I'd love to finish Istanbul. I think that's certainly possible. So I'll get started right away with Istanbul. I'll use the 3 to cross off this coin down there and get a coin. And then the 1, The one could be a 13 or a 31 for the game. That seems pretty handy. And I'm guessing for point salad, let's see. In point salad, we'll collect 1 star per set of collected veggies that match a point card group. Collect 1 star per set of collected veggies that match a point card group. One veggie may count towards multiple groups. All right. I don't understand that. Collect one. Sorry, Chad. Trying to figure this out. Another Chad just appeared here. So collect 1 star per set of collected veggies that match a point card group. 1 star per set of collected veggies. So if I collect 2 carrots, carrots are associated with the number 3, and they need to match a point card group. So I guess I need a 3 on one of the point cards. I'm curious how you all interpret that for the scoring for point salad. For now, I'm just going to use a 13 over in the game. 13, and I'll gain a coin from it. And so in point salad, I guess if I wanted to create a 1 value die and do something over there, it sounds like I'm not entirely sure if I can do the veggie thing with a single created die, or if it's like the game where if I create a die, I can use one of the dice from over here. I don't necessarily want to assume that for point salad, but I could use a single number, a single coin to fill in, I don't know, I'll put a 1 right here to gain that coin right back. So here's what I've done so far, if you're following along there. Yeah, let me know what you all think about the scoring for point salad so I can interpret that as correctly as possible live here. Turn 2, we have a 4 and a 2. A 4 and a 2, so it could be a 24 over in the game. I kind of like that. The 2 or the 4, what do I want to do for that? I'll go for the 4. I'm going to try to do everything in Istanbul, so I don't know. Oh, no, I need to have it be adjacent to something I've already crossed off. So, 2, let's go right here. Let's get that ruby. That'll be a 2, and now I have the 4 to use elsewhere. I will use the 4. I guess what the point salad is saying is it's trying to get a diversity of numbers in here. See, Nathan says, I read point salad as you could get up to 2 stars for each one of those point card groups if you have marked off veggies that match those numbers. So, yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking maybe it wanted you to have all 6 numbers, but that is impossible. It just wants you to have certain completed numbers. So I already have a 1 there, so it means I probably want to get both of the little turnips, I think. Those turnips or radishes. Yeah, we'll try that. 24. Let's put the 24 over here in the game. Keep going up on that one and get a heart out of it. And now, since I already have a 1 here, I don't necessarily want another 1, but I can't use all the numbers over there. Let's create another 1 value die and use it right here and get a heart. All right, turn 3. Matt says, I agree with Nathan, although I'm not sure what the coin, pumpkin, and the star is next to the veggies. Oh, I think that's if it says collect a bonus for filling in point cards and for completing rows of veggies. So if you complete a full row of veggies, then you get the bonus at the end of that row. So we have another 2 and a 4 here. Clint popped in to say, how are you finding these fan realms? Are they good? Are they balanced? I am really enjoying them so far, Clint. Yeah, definitely. 2 and a 4 again. So I don't want to do that in the game, although I could create a 14 to jump back. I kind of like that. Okay, I'm going to create a 1 value die, combine that with the 4, and make a 14 to scroll back by 10. That gives me a coin and a pumpkin. That felt good. And then, so that was the 4. I need to use the 2. Oh no, that was the 1. I haven't actually used either number yet. I still have the 2 and the 4. So let's use the 4 right here to gain a pumpkin. And I have the 2 to use now in point salad. In point salad, I will put the 2. So I could do a 2 or I could use both of those numbers for different veggies. Still not exactly sure why that's good, but I'll give it a try. So the 2, we'll circle Looks like I'm circling. I'm marking veggies. I'll circle it. And then the 4 is an eggplant, I think. Put that right there. I probably should have put that in the same row, but I didn't. Okay. Clint says he created a realm for Blood Rage but never shared it. You should share it. Clint, that would be awesome. Share it in the Facebook group and or on Board Game Geek. All right. A 1 and a 2 for turn 4. A 1 and a 2. So the 1, let's put this 1 right here. So that is in the 1 row. And gain a pumpkin and a heart. And the 2, what do I want to do with the 2? Probably 21. I think 21 works over here. Well, 21, I will easily complete that row. There's a star and 2 pumpkins. And those are all my numbers. So I will create another 1 value die and put it right here to get another pumpkin. Okay, Clint says, I think the double die use allows you to get more veggies than otherwise you would be able to get. Yeah, I agree with that, Nathan. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, turn 5. Turn 5, we have a 5 and a 3. 5 and a 3. I like the 53 over in the game. So let's put a 53 right there. Get a pumpkin. And now that could be using either of these 2 numbers. And so I will use either of them over here. 5 or a 3. Let's use the 5 right here in the middle. Yeah, so actually once I completed that middle row, if you complete the middle row or the middle column, after that everything is adjacent and is pretty free-flowing in Istanbul. It might be a little tight at the end, but we'll see how that goes. That gives me another die. So I've used both of the numbers again in Istanbul in the game. I'm left with other numbers to use in point salad. Let's use 3 hearts to copy the 5, maybe? 5? Sure. We'll copy the 5 and put that right here on that point card. All right, turn 6. Let me know if you have any thoughts as you're playing these, what you're enjoying, what feels good. I'm enjoying all 3 so far. Another 4 and a 2. All right, I've rolled that enough times in this game. Here's the 3rd time. 4 and a 2. Fortunately, there's another 4 I could use over here. Let's get that ruby. And I could do a 24 or a 42. I'll put a 42 right here and get yet another coin. And now point salad. And I'll do another 1. I'll put a 1 right here for that heart. Hope to roll a pair on my next turn. So what do I want from point salad? I definitely need to complete the turnips, I think, is what I need to get, because I have a bunch of 1s up in these groups. Collect 1 star per set of collected veggies that match a point card group. Okay. Here we go. Turn 7. A 4 and a 5. 4 and a 5. Okay. So 45 doesn't really work here. I could use either one. I could use it like a 54 over here. That would be fine. And I have a 5 right there. So yeah, let's use the 5 over here in Istanbul. Get a star. We'll put a 54 up here in the game and get a star. And I wonder if I was gaining. I think my lighting isn't so good. Yeah, I actually gained some coins that I shouldn't have. I've gained 2 coins from the game that are actually stars. So cross those off and gain stars instead. 2 more stars? Does that sound right? I think one of them might actually be a coin. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I already have 2. I must have gotten one of them. No, I should have 1 coin now. I think I did one of those correct, one of those incorrectly. But I do have a star now. So 3 more stars to get at the bottom of the game. Should be feasible. Oh, no, I'm going to be a little short. I need to create a die to make that happen. Is now the time to do that? I have the pumpkins to do it. Yeah, not yet. Not yet. I'll do that later. And then I gained the star from over here. And point salad, I don't think I'll do anything in point salad this turn. All right. Another 5 and a 4. Ooh, really did not want another 5 and a 4. But I think in the game, I can use some pumpkins to work around that. Yeah, I'll definitely need pumpkins a few times this turn. So I'm going to turn this 4 into a 3 and have a 35. So 35 here. That gives me a star and a heart. 35. And I'll probably use 2 other pumpkins to turn this 5 into a 6 over here in Istanbul and get another star. So it means in my final turn, I want to roll a 1 or a 3, although for Istanbul, I'll probably just create a 1 value coin in the final turn. So that's good over there. My final turn, I'll need to use the game twice, which is fine. I can do that. And point salad, I need to save those numbers. Actually, I could use the three hearts in Istanbul. Yeah, let's use, or in point salad. So I'll use the 3 hearts to copy the 4 and put that right here for a pumpkin. Clint, I'll get back to your question in a second. Let's do this final roll, and then I'll look over. All right, a 1 and a 2, a low roll. That's actually very good. So Clint asked, I know this is, do you plan to keep the realms as board games only, or do you plan on moving on to others like movies, book series? Probably just games. There was a fun Survivor realm that I played yesterday that was really neat. Probably just games. I think maybe for April Fools, that might be the time to branch outside of games and do a realm outside of games. But yeah. So a 1 and a 2. I know I needed a 1 over in Istanbul. So let's go ahead and do that. Istanbul, get that last ruby. That gives me all the stars from Istanbul. The 2 I'll make a 21 over here. 21 to get 2 pumpkins and a star. And now I need to use 3. Oh no, yeah. So here's a coin and 3 pumpkins to turn. Yeah, so I'll make it. Actually, I could even jump back. Let's do this. Let's use 3 pumpkins to. Oh no, because I copy the 1. So I'll copy a 1. That'll stay a 1, and it will join this other 1 as an 11 for that final star. And now, how the heck do I score point salad? So I didn't complete any rows. I didn't complete any set of collected veggies. Yeah, I kind of. I'm sorry, Chad Martinell, but I neglected point salad quite a bit. So I'm not getting any stars from that. So I'm just getting 12.3. 12.3. I think I had 12.5 yesterday. Here's the final state here. So Matt, fellow realm designer Matt, got a 12.2. Well done. Yeah, I really enjoy these. I did find points out a little bit confusing, but Matt, maybe you can hear the way that I talked about it and clarify the look of it a little bit, but it looks great. I like the look of the vegetables on it. I love the design of the game in Istanbul. Both were very flexible in terms of what you could do with them. Both, especially the game, felt a lot like the game. Turn the camera up here a little bit. And Istanbul, I don't know if it reminded me all that much of Istanbul, but I had fun with it. I liked the grid system. It was very flexible to always be getting something and choosing like when to get the rubies. If maybe you know that you can't completely complete that realm. Really well done. Yeah, I really like both of those. And point salad, I think with a few tweaks could be a really great realm too. And it might have just been my lack of understanding here. So it sounds like Nathan in the comments just said that he got a 12.6 and he went heavy on point salad. So he definitely figured that out. It's probably just me not figuring it out. And he also maxed out Istanbul. Yeah, I think maybe my top pick from this round, I enjoyed all 3. I think my top pick might be the game because I had a lot of fun playing it. And it really did feel a lot like the game. So I thought that was really well done. Well done, Ben Baker. Chad has some ideas for Jaipur realm. That could be cool. I feel like there might also be another Jaipur realm out there. But yeah, give it a try. We can have more than one for sure. This was awesome. I had a great time. Thank you all for joining me for this. And tomorrow I'll be back for round 3. And in round 3, we're going to have Stellar, a game that I haven't played in real life at all, Seven Wonders Architects, and Sagrada. All 3 of these look like a lot of fun to play tomorrow. We'll see how those go. All right, I'll see you around tomorrow, around the same time tomorrow. Take care. Bye.